Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Outside Line Media, and we are back.
New year, no SC63. It's a sad way to lead off the year. We lost a great car. Well,
We lost
a cool car.
We lost a car
over the offseason.
Well, I wouldn't say cool necessarily.
Yeah, just ask Roman Grosjean about that.
Yeah, holy cow.
No, bro knows a thing or two about burning up.
Lambo for sure. But we're back. This is our IMSA season preview video. And yeah, a lot of stuff's changed over the offseason. We're going to talk about all of it and link all the documents you need to make sure you are up to date on everything, because I know it took us a bit, even with following it, to get back. So
this is the first time we've written like an almost legitimate script.
Yeah, we had a lot of links, a lot of stuff. Like, man, I got a lot of stuff to remember. I can't just go off dome with all this stuff. So,
and I think first of all, we're going to be in Daytona Thursday through Sunday at the Rolex 24 this year. Going to bring out some great content for you guys there. Yeah, got a couple of things planned, but I say let's kick it off with the tires. Something new this year.
Yeah, they announced, I think, early last year was that the new tires are coming. They have a cool look with like the little...
I know they had a model of them at Indy and Petit Le Mans.
Yeah, and, we've had our first testing with them, and it's not been a lot of data gotten from them, obviously. The 24-hour race will really shake them down with durability and stuff, but it seems like they're heating faster, which is good because the GTPs were taking way too long to heat up their tires, and we're getting passed by LMP2 early days of a stint.
Yeah, during the night testing for the 24, the night testing during the roar before the 24 this weekend, definitely looked like the Aston was still breaking a little bit of traction, or not the Aston.
The Aston was getting a new engine at night practice.
It might have been the BMW. One of the GTPs was breaking traction. I saw it at least on the first out lap, and I think I saw it towards the beginning of the second lap out of the pits. So a lot better than the 4 or 5 laps that it was taking last year on the overnight.
Yeah, so it's definitely promising.
A lot different weather, though.
Yeah, so we'll just have to see at the Rolex. I think it's something notable to mention. Something notable to Patrick, especially. If anyone has watched a lot, they know a heated discussion that me and Patrick here had about a certain incident at a certain track. It 100% is. Don't look at
the Sebring, you make a mistake, you're in a wall, not in the grass.
And that also kind of led into...
beautiful for the Rolex, by the way.
Which is just phenomenal to hear. But yeah, there's been some changes to the yellow flags. Me and Patrick...
They heard the video. I sent it to Jonathan, dude.
Also, by the way, I love that, man. He popped in on the Surprise IMSA YouTube broadcast of night practice last night. What a guy. Class act.
What a guy. Yeah, so for yellow flags within the first... I should have pulled up this document. Within the first 15 minutes of the race.
Yes.
They're going to do a short yellow flag procedure for up to 15 minutes.
30.
First 30 minutes of the race, and then after 15 minutes after every green flag restart. Got it.
It's all also up to... They could always change their mind on that, but that's just the guideline set. There's extenuating circumstances.
First 30 minutes of the race, they're going to keep the pits closed to hopefully prevent long yellows like we saw at Petit Le Mans this year. I mean, I don't think we saw a racing lap for the first hour of that race. That was a little brutal. And then, of course, everything that happened at Road America and the sprint race last year. Once it hits the 15-minute mark, it will just be upgraded to a normal yellow flag condition, and the pit lane will open. And that's just depending on how long the cleanup takes. But then also within 15 minutes of every green flag restart, they will also implement a short full.
Yeah, good step in the right direction for sure. IMSA's done really good with clamping down driving standards, and now they're working on clamping down time under caution, which was a complaint.
The true test will really be at the endurance race.
I think Daytona will for sure test it. I think Road America endurance, yeah. And Sebring will test it, because Sebring will be Sebring. So,
yeah, Ryan knows something about hitting that wall on the front stretch.
So great at it in theory on the sim.
He did it on the sim, but we also have some other new things hitting this year. We've got some Evos coming out this year.
If you're not aware of how IMSA works, Evos are iterations of each generation of car that the manufacturer can make. within its given lifespan. I believe they're given 2. Don't quote me on that. It might be 3. I think it's 3 actually. We'll sort something down. We will link something down below related to that. Basically, there are changes to the package, the aero package, maybe, changing the dive plane or where the spoiler height is, like some people did. And these are essentially just upgrades to the car. Imagine you're playing a racing video game. You just go in there and, you slap stuff on the outside, switch it out, get a new look.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Imagine you're a racer that goes into AutoZone. That's what an Evo is.
For real. And we had that I'm aware of, we had 7 of them. In GTP, we had the Caddy, the BMW, the Acura, and the Porsche taking a Evo.
And then in GTD, we had the Ferrari and the Mustang will have Evos ready for Daytona. And then Lamborghini is bringing an Evo starting in Sebring. They never really gave a reason for why FAF isn't going to be running the Evo in Daytona. I'm guessing it has to do with spare parts and it being a 24-hour race.
Could be wrong. I think it's a whole new car, not necessarily an Evo. I don't know the verbiage on that. It's just a Termitario. I think it's a new car. But I don't know if it's classified as the Evo or a car. I'm not exactly sure on that. But new car.
Yeah. So something new will be happening. But with Porsche, there is something that isn't changing, Ryan, and that's JDC Miller.
Yeah, JDC Miller is staying with the 2025 version of the car. I guess 2024, wherever you want to put it. And got an exception from IMSA that you can run a car with approval that has been homologated a year before the current year. So JDC Miller couldn't afford to get the upgrades in the Evo, and yeah, so they're running last year's car, and they're going to use the same BOP, which is really weird.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
So far in testing, they did like 1, 2, 3 in a session, and Porsche was overall fastest. So,
which for JDC Miller is insanely good.
Yeah, sure is.
But yeah, some exciting news on the entry and exit front. Not really on the exit front, but exciting news on the entries. Ryan, I remember you crashing out earlier this year when the entry list for Daytona came out, and they split up your boys Rocky and Priol, and they set them both to endurance-only drivers.
Yeah, I couldn't see big picture. I saw red, or I guess blue prancing horses in this instance, and I got really mad because Perlow and Rockenfeller were their best lineup last year, scored the most wins. The only thing they didn't do that the 65 team did was win Daytona, which there's credit there. So the whole program was good, but they were their 2 best drivers, and they come out and they go, we're separating them, and Rockenfeller endurance only, Perlow endurance only. And I'm like, and they split them apart. That's the thing that really made me mad is they split them apart. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But come Ford's racing like debut little festival thing for the race season, come to find out there's a reason that they're not in there. And why is that, Patrick?
That is because Ford has announced their first hypercar lineup. We have Mike Rockenfeller, Priol, and a certain driver who used to race in blue.
Yeah,
and that would be Logan Sargent.
Yeah, that's awesome to see. He looks very happy, and I'm just absolutely stoked for him.
He's just happy to not be an F1 anymore.
For real, for real, and that's pretty cool. That's 2027 in WEC, or is that 2028 in WEC?
2027 in Le Mans. I'm not sure if they have a WEC announcement yet. I think it'll be ready for Le Mans, and then probably a 2028 full season.
Yeah, but stay tuned on that. That's
and then awesome. Hopefully a 2028 IMSA.
And they're also running in Elms to kind of practice and get their legs about them, which is awesome. So,
but we also have some news on the Genesis front.
This is a possible theoretical.
It's a rumor,
and that is rumored that next year they may not make the 24. So they're delayed. Their start might be delayed.
They're gonna pull an Aston Martin.
Yeah, might miss Daytona. So,
but had some significant lineup changes to go along with that Ford Racing news. Porsche, they of course killed their WEC program to add another Formula E program. I have opinions on that, but we're not going to get into that in this podcast. Maybe I'll just post some rant for like an hour sometime in the
I think you
future.
could talk for a while. You might be able to do a Daytona 24 of ranting about that.
So of course they moved their lineup all around. Neither of the lineups in IMSA stayed the same. I mean, they got rid of some amazing lineups, and that gets us to AO. AO has no Lauren Heinrich, and he's racing for Porsche Penske this year in the endurance round.
He's in the 7, which good for him. He got the call up, and he for sure deserves it.
And I mean, AO Racing, they actually got Nick Tandy. So, I mean, not a bad trade at all.
No.
But it's hard to imagine AO Racing without Lauren Heinrich. But, they're just preparing for, the future.
Yeah, there might be an AO. AO might be running GTP here soon based off of a lot of these moves. But that's just a rumor, no actual evidence of that. But that's just...
We got a lot of celeb drivers this season as well, right?
Yeah, Zilly's racing for Wheeling after not being able to... Was it WEC? It was WEC, right? Zilly.
Yeah, even though he already had a Rolex when he would have done that WEC test.
Couldn't do it, so say screw it. I'll do Daytona 24. You can read this next one. You've earned it.
Yeah, we got Colton Herta in between his F2 campaign and possibly Indy 500 run. He wants to do an Indy 500 run. He just needs approvals from a lot of different people to do it.
Yep.
He will be racing in the endurance rounds with Wayne Taylor Racing in the Cadillac.
Jable, this is not just a one race move. This is for the whole season. He's going to be racing in Era for Era Motorsports in the LMP2. So good for him, catching a ride.
And then Vassar Sullivan got Hawksworth and Barnicoat back together. They spent a season apart last year after winning the championship in 2024. So Vassar had not a great season. No wins. So definitely a bad season from them. So hopefully this lineup change will take them back to their old form.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And on that, moving on from drivers, we got teams. There's been some team changes. BMW M Team RLL last year was announced near the end of the year that they would be replaced. And that replacement is BMW M Team WRT, coming over from Europe. Great success in WEC. Good team, well-oiled machine. They're actually running space from Haas F1 in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is pretty cool. That was set up fast, and they're also running that Evo, so be really curious to see how that plays out. Daytona debut for the Aston Martin. They obviously missed it last year, and were on a pretty good run the end of last year, but unfortunately they blew an engine in testing and missed 2 sessions, but they were back this morning.
For the 15 minutes that we could see.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that note, PR1 Matheson has partnered with Brian Herta Autosport for an LMP2 entry this year. This is kind of seen as a preliminary move for that Genesis hypercar so that Brian Herta can possibly take that TCR success he's had with Hyundai and move that into the GTP program. We also have another IndyCar adjacent name, HMD. Big in the Indy Next scene, huge team in the Indy Next scene with multiple champions, multiple IndyCar drivers that raced for them, has partnered with Intersport after, I want to say, a 10 or 15 year break for Intersport. They're back and they're with HMD, and I think that team can do some great things.
Yeah, that'd be cool. RLL is bouncing back, obviously want to stay in the sport, and they are going to be fielding the only McLaren on the grid in GTD Pro. So RLL team McLaren should be cool. It's nice to see a McLaren. Hopefully it's doing good. That's all I can hope. We'll have to see. We'll have to have a look.
Yeah. AWA Motorsports was bought by and becomes 13 Motorsports for the season. Everything else stays the same on that entry other than the name.
Yeah. And then RS1 moving up.
Yeah, moving out of just VP, and they're moving into a full IMSA season. Myers, Riley. Ryan, you got another Ford team on the grid to cheer for.
Another Ford and GTD Pro, which is GTD.
And Romain Grosjean will be racing with them endurance rounds or Daytona?
Daytona. I don't know, 100% actually.
Possible IndyCar return for Romain Grosjean as well.
Yeah,
More information on that whenever Dale decides to make an announcement. You'll see that in our IndyCar video.
yeah, he'll take a sweet time though.
And then Barton Bros and Get Speed looking into eyeing a possible expansion into IMSA. They are confirmed for the 24, and we just have to see where it goes from there.
Yeah, looking do more races. Leaving, obviously, we mentioned RLL. The whole Proton program is kind of in the air right now. They're not on an entry list, so
yeah, they're not on the entry list. They haven't announced that they're not going to be racing this season, so who knows?
Iron Dames, unfortunately, with financial troubles, are limiting their campaign.
We also mentioned the SC63 at the top of this video.
Yeah, and then RLM BMW, so we've touched on all those. So to close out this preview video, as we're getting ready to go to Daytona, getting fired up, we're going to talk about who we are all rooting for real quick. Just one car, maybe two per class, where our allegiances are this year, you know?
Yeah, give me your entire WeatherTech lineup, Ryan.
All right, so I'm staying pretty similar across the board, minus one change. BMW M Team WRT, ride with the boys. It's the same lineups. Why not? LMP2, I'm going with the number 18 Era with Jable. Why not? I like Jable. GTD Pro, I'm riding with Ford Multimatic. I thought there for a second I might not, until I found out the plans for Rocky. All is well now. I see the vision. And then GTD, Turner Motorsports, and then Wright Motorsports second. So
yeah. So I have switched a lot of teams around this season.
He's a fake. Really.
GTP. This mainly stemmed from Colton leaving IndyCar. I needed a new allegiance in IndyCar, and that expanded to IMSA. So I'm with Acura Meyershank Racing this season. LMP2, I'm always going to cheer for Brian Herta Autosport with PR1. That was never up for question.
That's my second team. I'm really fired. I'm fired up for him.
And then GTD Pro and GTD, I am cheering for the Vassar Sullivan boys this year, as well as got to support the local guys in Wright Motorsports. Yeah. That expands to Aero too. I'm not going to be mad if Jable gets a win.
Yeah. Same with me with Brian Herta. So moving on to Michelin Pilot Challenge, which we will get to watch a good old race there at Daytona. Should be fire. Both of us are same on this. So I'll let you read this out, Patrick, and we agree on these.
Yeah, so for GS, we're cheering for McCumbee McAleer Racing with Nate Cicero and Robert Noacre. Hopefully it's not the same season for Robert Noacre. I don't really want to see the same team winning every single time, but two dominant guys in that series. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. And then Ryan, TCR,
he's
joining the Brian Herta Autosport.
Brian Herta Autosport bandwagon.
We're going to win the championship anyway.
One of those sport cars we might as well be happy about it. And last but not least, the VP Racing Challenge was just wrapped up. It's 2-race weekend here.
Look at this guy. He's hopping on the bandwagon for LMP3 for Tuno.
It's too easy. I mean, he's going to win everything now.
Yeah.
And then for GTDX, we differ on this, Patrick. And this is actually kind of funny. Who do you root for?
I'm cheering for Wright Motorsports.
And I'm rooting for Turner. Both there, I guess, junior teams in
GTDX not running at Daytona.
Yeah.
I think they'll be running for the first time at Coda.
Sounds right.
And then GSX, Ryan, who are we cheering for?
Rafa, Weston Workman, swept the first 2 races in spectacular fashion. He's going to continue.
Went to the back of the grid, had his car fail on power steering, and he won.
Yeah, they said, hold on, pull it over real quick, Westman. Control-Alt-Delete, restart it, and it worked. And I don't know if it's failed near the end.
He was in the lead like halfway through the race. It was wild.
It was wild. So that's our intro list, and that's our IMSA season preview. We're very
MX5 Cup, man. You can't forget the little cup, boys.
Oh my gosh, I almost committed a heinous crime to that. I'm sorry, Tyler Gonzalez, because that's who I'm riding with in MX5 Cup.
Look, I do enjoy Spire Motorsports. That's not who's fielding this entry, but they will probably be the title sponsor for it. And Tristan McKee's going to keep it entertaining. Just ask anyone who watched the Cars tour. Dude will ship somebody for P20.
Yep, so, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm offended because honestly, I'm offended for myself. I shouldn't disrespect the MX5 Cup like that because honestly, one of my favorite parts of Daytona is going to be getting to see Patrick and Sam's reaction to the MX5 Cup race at Daytona because I went last year, they didn't, and it's pure bliss. The buzzing
I'm ready
bees,
for it.
the buzzing bees spinning around you. It's beautiful.
But yeah, that's our IMSA season preview for the 2026 IMSA entire championship lineup, minus Mustang Challenge. We'll be hitting that more for their first race of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, it should be a great season, and we'll see you guys in Daytona.
See y'all in Daytona. Peace.
Peace.